Why is due diligence necessary when dealing with external vendors? So I'm going to talk to all of you from a variety of categories, whether it's contracts, management contracts, marketing contracts, just in general. When you are hiring somebody to come into your life, your world, your enterprise, how do you do due diligence? Three things I want to talk about is the importance of vigorous vendor evaluations and research, and just knowing who you're dealing with. Number two, what are the best practices to make sure that those relationships stay strong and successful? And number three, what are some of the very costly mistakes to avoid, especially if you get into a long contractual relationship, and how do you really vendor manage to avoid these costly errors? So one of the biggest things I'm going to say is due diligence is not done out here on the bathroom wall called the internet. And so many of you, you'll look around and say, oh, this is my due diligence. And if somebody doesn't have a BBB sticker, well, BBB, and sorry, but you have to pay to have a good score. It's a pretty extorted service. A lot of these online, processes are. So due diligence, just because somebody doesn't have a good BBB score, is probably because they didn't pay the BBB. Right? It was the Better Business Bureau. There's a lot of services like that where you think, oh my gosh, they don't have that rating or they don't have that thing. So what? They didn't want to pay and be extorted by that. And due diligence is random. I mean, you could look at all sorts of different sites and I'll look at Wikipedia, for example. There's stuff up there about me. It's not even accurate, like where I was born, what I did, my degrees. So there are so many just things that people can just randomly post, or it's cobbled together because of AI and it's inaccurate. So how do you do due diligence? You got to pick up that thing called the phone. You need to pick up the phone. You need to call references and need to really understand who you're dealing with and are they real? And it's shocking how many people are scams. Just on my TikTok channel, for example, I have over 200 scams. People who are impersonating being me, taking my videos here from my YouTube channel and starting a channel and saying, oh, Loral stuff's really bad, but go buy my stuff. So if anyone ever baits and switches you away from what I do and I sell and what I endorse, which is my stuff, it's not my channel. But you all have to be careful. And a lot of you don't know how to do due diligence. I want to give you the first 3 chapters of my Wealth Cycle Investing book. You're going to want to go get it all because I do a complete chapter on the 5 Ds of due diligence and what do you need to be really looking at. But specific to this content for today, what's some of the vendor evaluations you need to be looking at? Well, number one that I look at, and it's part of what I actually enjoy about our brand that we can say is we're sustainable. I've been doing this since 1999. I hit my millionaire status. I jumped out of corporate life in 1996 with the Rich Dad, Poor Dad brand, and then did my own brand. So we have the longest standing mastermind and mentoring program in the world, doing one thing, making millionaires, right? So we first did it in real estate, then we expanded to any industry in any country. And we have done it in 6 of the 7 continents. So we know we're sustainable and we have huge success track records. You want to actually look at their reliability and worthiness. Talk to some clients, actually get some references, see what they actually are like. If you really want, you can sign, non-competes and sign some confidentiality forms. And especially if you're actually in a lending situation with somebody in due diligence, you want to make sure that they have a viable financial status. I mean, if you're going to hand money and do a hard money loan, for example, it's surprising to me how many people you might do a hard money loan with and they're not even on QuickBooks or a basic accounting system. So how are they going to take 50 to 100,000 of your money and then accurately account for it when they don't even use their own softwares? So you need to be asking questions, more questions than most of you ever had to ask in a due diligence model. And if you want to learn how to do due diligence, join our community. I would love to show you how. There's a strategy session link below. Grab that and say, I want to learn to deeply do due diligence. And if you wanted to buy a company, where would you begin? Like I've bought and sold many, many companies. I've done many real estate transactions. How do you even begin the due diligence to see if it's even interesting? And then overall, the importance of the vendor agreement is where I'm going to move into is the actual agreement. Is what are the terms? How do you hold the success of the relationship? Do you actually have KPIs, key performance indicators with the vendor? What are their expectations to perform for you? Whether it's a marketing agreement, a management agreement, any sort of agreement. Like here in our company at Integrated Wealth Systems, we don't have employees. We have company-to-company relationships. So how do those get formed? They get formed in clear agreements, clear exhibits. This is what you're going to do. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to come together and actually get a great result. You have right to correct. That's actually a form that's inside of an agreement. So if somebody's not performing, there's a period. Is it 30 days, 60 days? But there's a right to correct just because the alignment and miscommunication or whatever happened got out of order and you need to get it back on track. Be sure that you don't just do handshake agreements. I know that's kind of an old school thing, but what are the contractual terms? Are they fair? How are you getting paid? And again, if you're not getting paid at a certain period of time that's in the contract, you need to stop and do a right to correct and make sure that you do get paid and stop delivering service. So again, this is on both sides of having what I always say, design your divorce while you're in love. Before you enter a relationship, be clear on the terms on both sides and know how to get out of it before you even enter it, right? That's why I'm a huge fan of prenuptials. I'm a huge fan of contracts and just the clarity. So no misunderstandings. And again, inspect what you expect and inspect what you expect at all times. Before I go to other costly errors, I want you to subscribe to my channel. I want you here 5 days a week. Click that notification button. And when that comes up on your phone, I want you to watch it. So pick a time in the morning. You might be driving, you might be working out, might be taking a walk, and just listen to the video and consume the content. And those of you who are serious about this and bringing this content into your family, grab a learning journal. It's in the link below. You're going to hear me talking about these all the time. I want you all to have learning journals. I want to see them. Like take some screenshots and say, hey, look, these are all the things I'm learning. These are the video I watched, the time. What are you going to do? What did you learn? And have this be part of your conversation in your family. Now, the costly errors of due diligence is number one, not having a contract. Now I'm going to go a little further and say having individual contracts, meaning person to person. I'm a huge fan, if you haven't watched my work long enough, that you live in corporate structure. So I, Loral Langemeier, would never do a deal with you. I, on behalf of a company, a manager of the company, a member of the company, could do a deal. So I like company to company contracts, company to company relationships. They're easier to defend. You can't get through personally to take any personal assets of either party, and you just don't go into a handshake partnership. Odd. That's how a lot of people get in a lot of trouble. Have contingency plans and exit plans that if certain things happen, how do you walk home whole? I don't know how many people have not walked home whole. I'll tell you a category I help a lot of people with is this one, writing a book. There are so many misconceptions about how to become a bestseller. I'm talking award-winning bestseller. We do this all the time. Are you ready for this? I doubt it. Not in this kind of a market. When I was publishing a lot of my big books, there was only 300,000-400,000 people publishing in the year. Now there are about 3 to 4 million a year. So it's a crowded space. Everybody's an author. Everybody's an expert. So be careful when you go into these contracts of what the delivery is. It's crazy to me how some of you just get burned because you don't do due diligence, you don't read contracts, and you just don't know terms. Every industry has some norms. They have multiple norms on exits. They have tax norms. So let us help you. We are industry agnostic, meaning we can help any industry on any continent. Why? Because we have had clients all over the world. So let us help you do due diligence, do it right. We have teams and coaches who will just do that for you if that's what you want to learn. So if you have any questions at any time, go to AskLoral.com. There's a huge amount of learning in this conversation of due diligence. And again, not only grab the free 3 chapters of Wealth Cycle Investing, grab the whole book and really dig into due diligence and just start practicing it. Just start practicing what contractual terms would look like and how you would execute them if you were on the line of performance. So I'm here to help you, here to support you, and we'll be back tomorrow.